Howdy, folks. I thought I'd get back on here and do another vlog. It's been a little while. Well, probably only a few days, but it feels like a long time. Yeah, just sort of jump on and let everybody know where I'm at. I have been, well, not that it's that important, but I've been losing weight. Now I'm down to, I've lost about 18 kilos so far, which is pretty friggin' awesome. I gotta say, I'm already walking lighter, feeling, in general fitter, sweating less. My thighs are rubbing less, which has always been a bane of my existence. So yeah, in general, just feeling much healthier. As I said before, eating less and drinking less, and actually like significantly less. I'm getting to a point where I really am starting to think that maybe I don't need to drink or eat anywhere near as much as I thought I did. I mean, when I used to drink water, um, it would be about 7 or 8 glasses a day, because that's what you're told that you're supposed to drink, because it's good for you and cleans your system and gives you good skin and blah 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 blah. So I kind of did it, but before that I hadn't really been drinking 7 glasses of water a day, and I felt fine. But I thought I'll give it a go, and then it's kind of weird. I got addicted to water. It's like in Mad Max, It's like don't get addicted to it, but I did, and then it was kind of the more I drank, the thirstier I was in a way. And I guess it's the same with food. That the more you eat, the hungrier you think you are. But really, I'm getting down to almost nothing. And I saw a thing online about a guy who basically doesn't drink water at all. And he seems happy and healthy. He's been doing that for 2 years. So it's quite interesting, I think, that potentially, as I said before in another video, that we are, we can evolve past our basic needs, can't we? Well, I think we can. So anyway, I went down to Melbourne on the weekend, which was Sunday, so today's Tuesday. Yeah, so it was quite an amazing journey. I went down for a dance party that turned out to be okay. It was good. It was just kind of not the music wasn't quite as, it didn't grab me quite as much as I wanted it to. But lots of nice guys there, and just sort of hung out on the dance floor and chatted, caught up with my friends and a couple of friends very briefly. But the actual trip itself was really exciting uh, because I'm becoming more confident in myself. I was able to kind of walk the streets without sort of feeling weird about it. Was an introvert for a long time, as a kid especially, but just always aware that people were looking at me and feeling weird, and when they did and all that kind of stuff. But I'm actually completely overcoming that, which is amazing. It is 40 years of kind of self-doubt just completely going, and I was listening to music on the headphones and walking the streets of Melbourne, and I was even freaking dancing on the streets of Melbourne when the music got good. And I'm not kidding, I was like seriously uptown funking it downtown. It was really fucking cool, and I gotta say, nobody gave a shit, which was really nice. And maybe some bemused smirks, I don't know, but nobody gave a shit. So it was like, oh cool, I'm somewhere where I can just do that. I mean, I'm sure they did. I'm sure I'm sure I'm living in a dream world where la la la, floating down the street, Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. But it was still amazing, and the actual journey, the thing I went there for wasn't actually what I enjoyed the most about it. I went on a flight, and the guy I ended up sitting next to on the way down was just absolutely lovely. He was a total sweetheart, and he was off to see his to a wedding for his friends down in Melbourne, and also he was going to surprise his girlfriend of that he hadn't seen for 2 years. They have this long distance relationship, and he hadn't seen her for 2 years, and he and the groom and a couple of other guys were in on it, but she didn't know he was coming. So it was going to be this incredible love bubble for them, just kind of the marriage, the joy of that, but then on top of that also the surprise for his girl, and I just think that's for his girlfriend, and I just think that's completely amazing, and I sort of shared in that sort of joy a bit of vicarious kind of love, and he was just totally adorable. So I gave him my details, and hopefully he will request me, which is nice. When you meet people like that, you just got to connect and give them, say, please, I want to connect again, because it's a rarity that you sort of make that sort of that love connection, that soul connection, just a pure, simple friendship thing. And yeah, he was great. And again, coming back on the flight home, I sat next to this teacher, and she was just a total sweetheart. Again, she wasn't sort of supposed to be sitting next to me. She'd misread her seat number, and had sat in row 10 instead of 9, and we just started chatting away, and she was really lovely too. So it was kind of weird. Like, also on the flight down, the whole thing was packed. The whole plane was packed except for the one seat between me and this guy. It was friggin' awesome. It was so cool. It was quite a privilege, really. And pulled up the thing, and it's like, actually put your legs out. You know, they said there was like 5 centimeters extra space in that thing, and it's like, really, my knees are still touching the seat, and that's with 5 centimeters. Cheers for that. Yeah, it was pretty tight on the way down, but coming back it was half empty, and it was really cool. It was really cool. I even treated myself and had like a beer and some of these amazing nuts that were like in this packet, but they were really fresh, kind of what would you say, like a nut mix of kind of like not roasted but kind of fresh nuts and cranberries and all of this kind of stuff. Really delicious in itself. But then they had these little tiny chocolate chips that every now and then you'd be eating away, and then you'd get this like flood of like chocolate, because I don't eat much chocolate obviously, but the sorry, I just got to log back in. The what's it called? Chocolate bombs basically were just amazing. They were so good. They yeah, it was kind of like this super special treat, and because it was only just a tiny bit of it, just like every now and then you'd get this like thing. It was kind of like this real surprise. It was really awesome. It's about the only way I'm going to eat chocolate, I think, from now on. So I'm going to have to find them. Well, sounds like I'm doing an ad, but they were called Harvest Box, I think, and they were just, it was friggin' delicious, absolutely delicious. So yeah, I suppose that is an ad, isn't it? Weird. But anyway, to those out there who want just a kind of energy fix with a bit of a treat, it was great, and it was exactly what I needed, because I'd been dancing for, well, not dancing the whole time, but the party went from 3 to 11, so it's got there about 4. So you know, it was quite a big day. Plus, I had, on the way to my friend's house, I'd gotten lost. Well, actually, it was because I put the headphones on. I was listening to music and rocking away, and then I just kind of ended up down some side streets, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? And it's weird. Like, I lived in Melbourne for so long, and yet the map of Melbourne just was erased from my memory. Maybe that says more about my experience of Melbourne than it does my memory. It's like, wipe it, get rid of it. Well, the last experience anyway wasn't great. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and it was friggin' humid though. Holy crap, it was hot, man. When I got there, it was worse than Brisbane. The temperature was right up, but oh man, the humidity. I was sweating as soon as I got off the train, and well, maybe because I was dancing, but yeah, it was just horrible. And the whole time I was walking and walking and walking, getting more and more lost, and going in the direction I thought I was going, the right direction, and ended up finally stopping a couple of people, and they were like, actually, no, it's all the way back around there. So I was like, oh, I got to walk all the way back. And all of this was because I got distracted and didn't buy a Mikey card, which is what you need to get around on the trains there. And if I'd bought that, if I'd just got in, spent like $10 and bought a Mikey card and had it topped up, I would have like been there in half an hour. Not even that, in 20 minutes, 10 minutes. So I spent this kind of couple of hours just wandering around the streets of Melbourne. But I suppose it was a good preamble to what's it called? To the party. So you know, it gave me a bit of a warm up, I suppose. But I caught up with friend Cam, and that was really nice. So we're going to organise a proper trip down there and catch up with all the boys and have actual chats rather than just like a tumble roll. It really was a tumble rolled out of the plane, walked there, got changed, had chats, tumble rolled into a party, tumble rolled out of the party, had like a few hours sleep, got into, you know, set the alarm, got into my clothes, and then tumble rolled, well, walked into town, and then on to, like, etc., on a train and back. But it was really fun. It was really fun, and it was a total decadent move, but it was worth it, and I had a great time. So yeah, in general, just feeling like lighter and kind of brighter and more capable, and certainly a good few hours of getting lost in music is a really great way for me to exercise. It's about the only way I enjoy exercising, that and, say, walking and exploring, because all the rest of it, just repetitive things over and over again, like walking on a treadmill. It's like, we're on a road to nowhere. It's just so friggin' dull. You know, at least have a panning screen of like footage of a forest or something. It's so dull. Or hey, maybe just go to a forest and go for a walk. That might work. You know, when you see a path that you think, oh, I don't know if I can be asked climbing those rocks, just climb those rocks. That's a much better exercise than sort of just standing in the spot or whatever. It's repetitive stuff. It just bores the crap out of me. You know, it's necessary to a degree, obviously, but even with things like weights, which I got into for a while and really enjoyed, um, uh, something like that, I'd rather probably just go flip some tires or something. You know, like you see in the big zoos, like you know, that type of thing, because it's a more natural for me. That would be a more natural kind of workout. Plus, it's fun. You know, you set yourself challenges and do it. But I'm really not. Was never a fitness person. Not really. Well, here and there I was. Did aerobics quite a bit. Mainly just because I enjoyed the music and enjoyed the dancing side of things, I suppose. Yeah, and also, you know, it was nice because you can just sort of follow the leader in a way. But yeah, these days I'm much sort of more into the finding the exercise in simple tasks. Like if I had to get to the train station, I'll sort of walk, but I'll walk, say, well, something I have found I've been doing lately is kind of using the environment. So if I'm in the city and I'm walking across the street and there's like you know, when you get the lines that sort of go across the street to tell you where to walk, well, I kind of walk on the line and imagine I'm walking on a tightrope. And in that process of kind of balance and control, it really does work you out. And by the end of it, you're sweating. And it seems like such a simple thing to do, but it's been working. And a lot of balance stuff I've been doing, I need to improve that. So like old sort of decrepit fences, like in Melbourne, there's ones, so it was kind of like it's this sort of shape at the top, and then you know where there used to be poles, like big metal poles coming out of it, and it's like that, and it goes along Carlton Gardens, and then the top is kind of like this, and then occasionally it's kind of broken away, so the top is literally just kind of that, like a point. So I was kind of walking along that and trying to maintain balance, and just that alone is incredible. You know, again, people are looking at me, probably thinking, "What the fuck is this guy on?" Because I have my headphones on, and I'm dancing away in the park, and then I'm walking on some things, and I'm crossing the street in weird ways. Maybe it's not so much that people weren't looking; it's maybe they were scared that I might catch them looking. Didn't know what I'd do. Come up and dance off. Yeah, yeah, come on. It'd just be too funny. Oh dear. Okay, so in other news, the podcast that Camilla and I have done, which is called the High Lowbrow Podcast, has been received well. I mean, it's our first go. So what we're doing is getting a bit more. We're going to get more pro about it, and I'm looking at buying a lot of equipment. So I've saved up my money, so I've made lists of microphones and all sorts of stuff I'm going to need. But I'm just probably going to get a basic tabletop mic just for that. But I'm also going to go crazy with other really, really good mics because it's time to start recording things professionally. And yeah, it's been well received. It got some really nice comments on Facebook. Actually, I'll try and bring those up. Just really encouraging, which is kind of nice because you know you make things and you work on things, but you're never 100% sure if it's working or if people are going to like it. Because I mean, we like it, obviously, but we like the process, you know. So it's like, is it just that we like each other's company and enjoy having a conversation? But you know that doesn't always translate, does it? It might just be the people over. But let's have a look at some of the comments. Look, I mean. Sounds cool. If you want a studio recording, hit me up. How awesome is that? That's so sweet. Loving it. Keep them coming. Good companion for my walk. Buritz. Bouritz. I don't know what that means. I'll look that up. Buritz. No, let me look in the dictionary. Oh, how about I do this later? Hey everyone, watch me search a dictionary. Fascinating. Please, next week, thesaurus. Buritz. No, it doesn't come up, so I'm not sure what Buritz is. But there you go. Then this one, which I just thought was a really sweet. Oh no, hang on. That's specific. That's very specific to thing. But the last part says, "When you get sick of your day jobs, I will be at your comedy gigs." Oh, that's awesome. And you will be there. It's in writing now. But how cool is that? You know, I've written some comedy lately, so starting on a show. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, what was I saying? Suddenly it all got all about us, but yeah, the podcast is going to be great. So I can't wait for us to get together and do it again. I think Camilla's going to deck out one of her closets. It's going to be funny, just sort of pad the closet and have, if she does have guests and stuff, it'll be like literally interviewing them in a closet. It'll be hilarious. And yeah, we're going to basically Skype each other and sort of visual cues, but then have the recording equipment. So yeah, it's we're getting there, and I'm getting there, and I'm really excited, and I'm glad you guys, well, if you guys are along for the journey, thank you so much, and I hope in some ways watching these things, maybe if anything, it's just a good sort of way to look back and see how these things started, you know, and how really anyone can do it. You just got to. Oh, I quit my job, by the way, which is another. Actually, that's pretty big news, isn't it? I had a contract through to Christmas, but there was no joy in it for me anymore whatsoever. So I just realised I was wasting my time and wasting their time by working on it, because really I wasn't giving my best to it, and I don't like working on things unless I'm giving 100%, and unless I'm motivated to do that, then I don't. You know, and that can be anything. That can just be the fact that I love the thing I'm working on, or whatever, or friends. But really, the only reason I was sticking to it was for the director, because I knew it was going to be very difficult, you know, or add more stress to him. But I know they'll be fine. They'll get someone else who can do it. But I was the only real senior animator on the project, so. But they'll find someone, and it'll all work out. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't spend another couple of months of my life just wasting it on something I didn't believe in. So I've decided that the next few to 6 months it's me time. I'm going to invest in me. I'm not investing in things or in houses or all the things that you know, all the traps I fell into, you know, for financial security. I'm not going to do all that. I'm going to take that money, which I've earned through fucking hard work. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to invest it in me. Isn't that a strange concept? In my talent, in my skill set, in equipment that will help me tell my story better. And that's a pretty big shift, really, of thinking, and it's something I think more people should freaking do, you know. And I suppose everyone will be like, oh, but you don't have kids, and you don't have a mortgage, and you don't have this, and you don't have that. It's like, well, no, because, well, first of all, mortgage, I do have a mortgage, but at the same time, at any point in time, I can sell that house. I mean, I don't have kids, obviously, but that just because you have kids doesn't mean you have to give up on your dreams. I mean, that's just silly. You can have both. You really can. You just have to really fucking work at it, and that's the hard thing. Is kind of, I think it's more that people aren't are worried that if they invest in themselves, that somehow it's not going to pay off. But really, it does. I think it pretty much always does, and if it doesn't, that's really unfortunate, but then at least you've given it a go. So I'm giving it a go now, and I think it's going well, and I think I potentially have a bright future ahead. So wish me luck. On my journey, and I hope all you guys are on your own journeys, and that you're putting yourself, you know, ahead. I suppose, yeah, as Oprah said, at the top of the list. You know, put yourself up there, because your happiness is key to your ability to give happiness to the world. So that's where I'm at, and I hope you guys have a great day. Love you all. Bye.